Welcome to Week and Geek, your new comics preview for August 19th. I'm Mike Ortiz.
And I'm the Chris Brown. Actually, today's the 20th.
Oh, August 20th. I'm Mike Ortiz.
And I'm still the Chris Brown.
And we just went over that, and I still screwed it up.
That's all right. We're on the fly today. It'll be all right. So, I've got kind of a bigger stack than you do.
A much bigger stack. I got a tiny stack.
So I'm going to kind of go through it. There will be a few things that I'm just going to mention are sort of in my stack rather than give a full review, because there's a few things I'm behind on. Mm-hmm. I'm still hanging tight with the all-new Ghost Rider. I'm not sure how I feel ultimately about the storytelling, but I do like the art. I found the art to be kind of fun. I think we got a new writer on it, to be honest here. We've got Felipe Smith. Was that who was doing it before? Or maybe it's different art, because Damian Scott is on it now. So the art is definitely different, but I still like it. It still has kind of a fun look to it. I'm not sure how I feel about the ultimate portrayal of the Ghost Rider stuff, but I'm going to hang in there. For some reason, I want to give that one a shot. Then I've got Daredevils. This is issue number 7. It's like Daredevil's on a mission with S.H.I.E.L.D., and they're going to Wakanda. I'm a few issues behind on this as well. There's been, there's some long gaps in my reading, unfortunately. I've had a harder time being able to get everything done. But this is Daredevil, Matt Murdock in San Francisco. Although not in San Francisco, he's now in Wakanda. So we got our female Black Panther, it looks like. They got to start getting us all fired up about Black Panther stuff because they announced the movie, right?
Did they announce it?
I think they did. Oh. So, they got to start getting us, getting us understanding what's going on there. Next up, I've got Deadpool versus X-Force. This has got a Shane Davis cover, which is pretty cool. I like Shane Davis's stuff. I haven't read the second issue, but the first issue was basically Deadpool gets this time-traveling device, and he's jumping around and screwing up history. So, Cable and not quite X-Force, because it precedes the events of New Mutants number 98.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Or 89 or whatever. Like, it precedes the forming of that team. This is kind of their first mission together and trying to track down Deadpool as he's screwing up history.
Who's the writer on that?
Who do we got on this thing? Dwayne Straczynski.
Oh, okay. He's good.
So, it's what we got going there. That's been pretty fun. I'm an issue behind on The Empty Man, but this is this kind of like one of those urban legend, weird myths. Reminds me sort of the Slender Man and all the kids kind of being afraid of that. And, people are dying at this Empty Man, this weird myth that doesn't seem to be that much of a myth. As I said, issue behind, doing the best I can. I wasn't even affected by the flood, and I'm still all behind on everything.
Yeah.
I am, however, caught up on Black Markets because we've only had one issue. This is written by Frank J. Barbiere, who I like. He was doing that Five Ghosts of Fabian Gray.
That was a good book.
Do like the artwork as well. The story, it's kind of interesting. It's basically someone kind of gets involved with their brother, and what they're doing is they're stealing powers from superheroes. They're like kidnapping superheroes and then kind of stealing that gene so they can sell powers on the black market.
Interesting.
Kind of a weird, interesting idea. It's going to be a 4-issue deal. I'm kind of liking that, how some of these companies, Boom and whatnot, are just giving you the miniseries and get you in the story and get you right back out.
Honestly, I think that's the way. With an unknown property, I am much more willing to give it a shot if it's only a 4-issue commitment, 6-issue commitment. That might lead to another miniseries or another series.
Yep. And then you can follow that other story if you're interested in it. At least you get one story out of the way. My next issue here is I've got Dark Horse Presents is relaunching. They're out of that $7.99 format, which was just too difficult to sell.
Yeah.
They're down to a $4.99 format for 56 pages. And they're coming out swinging. They've got a big guy in Rusty the Boy Robot story in here. Oh, wow. And it is story and art by Jeff Darrow. So we don't even have to deal with the stark ravings of Frank Miller at this point. Looks like David Max.
The robot's not going to be fighting Al-Qaeda?
No, that's a good thing. I think that's probably positive. Rusty won't be doing anything weird. I'll start Batman and Robin. They won't have anything crazy going on there. Looks like David Max got a little kabuki.
The G-Dam Rusty the Robot?
Yeah, no, I hope not.
You got to admit that would have been fun.
Perhaps. But yeah, it looks like a lot of interesting creative teams here. What do we got here? Some stuff by Kabuki. We got Resident Alien by Peter Hogan. Something called Dream Gang. Something called Wrestling with Demons, Jimmy Palmiotti and Justin Gray. And The Saber-Toothed Swordsman by Damon Gentry. So some interesting stuff in there, and the lead being big guy in Rusty the Boy Robot is what really had me interested, because I love that stuff.
So this is a little bit more like the original Dark Horse Presents, but in color.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. That's the way it appears. Next up, I've got issue number 4 of Trees. This is Warren Ellis and Jason Howard. Not entirely sure where this book's going anymore. It seemed like it was about these weird alien things and the trees that were going on, but now we're kind of building a story. and there was some kind of professor that's trying to grab some underground books. Like maybe there's an underground bookstore. There's a girl that's following him, but she's involved in some kind of gang who's taken over some area. So it's starting to settle down from its premise and into the story about the people that are living in the premise. Okay. And I like that. I liked the last issue. I did get caught up on that one.
Cool.
I am behind a bit on Peter Panzerfaust. I believe we just kind of started the new story arc with the last issue. This is a strong book, though, and Curtis Weeb is a really, really fun writer. He and his wife just had a baby. Congratulations to Curtis Weeb. Then I'm sure with all that stuff, it just took a little while to get some stuff out for him. I mean, he's busy, and I'm sure he's going to be lots of restless nights as it is. So I don't know if we're going to start to see more babies crying in some of his stuff or what, as he's tormented in his non-sleeping hours. I don't know. But I do like that book, and excited to finally have one back after we've had quite a delay. Trying to push through this because you've got so few things. So we'll give some little reviews, but other things I haven't even finished yet. So this is one that a couple people were referring to, and specifically one of my guys, Mike Rizzo, was referring to as Cheech and Chong's They Live. Mm-hmm. You got the stoner gets some magic glasses, and you can see these aliens, these weird lizard aliens, and stuff's going on, and really cool art by J-Bone. I like James Robinson. I was a little afraid that because the sales were not real high that maybe he just ignored it because it had been months between 4 and 5. But kind of a cool book. The artwork's really fun. I like James Robinson. It's nice to see him doing something a little different, a little wacky. We got Umbral number 8. This is one I'm behind on as well, and I think this might have been a little late in between issues. But it's got this weird kind of magic thing going on and sort of like a medieval kind of place. I like the landscape. I like the characters. I like the art. I really like the color palette. This is a book that, while I am a few issues behind, I have every intention of getting caught up because I think it's just kind of neat. Anthony Johnston's a pretty good writer. I like the stuff that he's done that I've read in the past. So some cool stuff there. Next up, I've got the Wicked and the Divine. This is... Imagine if deities were coming down, possessing humans for so long, and then they were almost like rock stars. So kind of weird, some people believe it's just magic tricks and, some Chris Angel type stuff. Right. That these, strange kids are just deciding to, like kind of club kids. Oh, they're getting fired up and, drugs and whatever else, and they're pretending they're gods. It's a really strange story, but really cool. I like it. I like the art. I think it's, who's doing it here?
Jamie McKelvey?
Jamie McKelvey, I believe, yeah. Because Karen Gillan's doing the art.
Yeah.
So it's a cool book, interesting kind of image book. I like that Image gives its creators so much freedom to be able to do bizarre stuff like that. And then speaking of kind of deities, now we got a book called The Life After. This is Joshua Hale Fialkoff. I don't know what's going on, but it's some kind of purgatory afterlife. There's maybe people that are watching someone break through the programming. It's almost like The Matrix meets... some kind of weird afterlife meets the Field of Dreams, kind of. Because then you got, who was it? I think it was, Ernest Hemingway shows up at the end of the last issue. But there's people, like, again, almost like a cabin in the woods. People are trying to prevent them from getting outside the programming, where this guy then wakes up and he's in some kind of purgatory. It's weird. I don't know what's going on, but I liked it. I'm going to give that second issue a go. Cool. But that takes me through the bulk of my mostly rather large stack.
Well, my tiny stack is starting out with The Fade Out by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. As you can see, it comes in 2 versions, a magazine size. It's really nice kind of throwback to old kind of
It says it's the movie magazine variant is what it is. So kind of like the old days, if this was some kind of movie where you'd be able to buy this at your concession stand. Right. I believe I had a Superman movie magazine that I bought when one of the Superman movies came out.
I have that as well. So yeah, 2 versions. I actually had that in my hand for a second until I went, oh wait, I can't put this in a comic book box. I have to put this with the magazines. So I'm going to opt for the regular size version. Now, I was a huge fan of both of these guys for a very long time. Individually and together, they did Criminal. They did Incognito for Icon. They did, what was the other one? Fatale.
Yeah, they're doing Fatale, yeah.
At Image. I was into Fatale. I kind of dropped out of that one because the mix of the noir and horror didn't quite work for me as well as the noir stuff or the superhero noir. I'm not exactly sure what this is. It's probably noir.
Yeah, well, it looks that way. It's got a bloody typewriter on the front.
It looks also to be a period piece because the people are wearing kind of clothing from the past.
Picture the Hollywood sign. So
yeah. So I mean,
my guess it probably has something to do with a murder mystery and a writer in 1930s Hollywood, because Ed Brubaker seems to really be fascinated with that period.
Very much so. Very much so. So I'll give it a shot. If this was not,
a lot of his characters are writers, which is fine.
Yeah. Hey, write what you know.
Well, that's a trapping that they often say you should stay away from. But gosh darn it, he's good at it.
He is good at it, and he doesn't make it too kind of like,
it's not him.
Right. It's not too kind of self-reflective.
Yes.
And it's not like he's not trying to work things out this way. He just, maybe finds people who craft stories to be fascinating people.
Sure. And again, that era, there's a lot of
definitely.
That. It's fine.
I mean, if this was a big week, I probably would have skipped this because I don't really know a lot about it, and I'm not really sure,
And the title being Fade Out, it's got to be about a screenwriter, right?
True. So yeah, I think. It's Hollywoodland, is the title. So yeah, it's set in the past. Definitely, the more I look at it, the clearer it is. And this was actually going to be your top pick until it made it in my stack because my stack is so small. So if there's anything else you want to say about it, go ahead, because I'm really I didn't know I was buying this until I grabbed it.
Just kind of the whole scheme of it looks very interesting to me. It's an Ed Brubaker #1 from Image. I was really attracted to the larger format because I like being able to see that art. I've become the sort of collector that I just don't care how easy it is to store stuff anymore. Because I tell you what, it's probably just going to sit in a stack anyway. I'm not going to bag and board it. I mean, this is something I'm going to flip on the couch and read, and I like seeing the art real big like that, and just kind of a neat idea. And I like comic books playing outside the box.
Oh, yeah.
And doing things that are different from everyone else. When Image started doing the Golden Age format, I loved seeing the art bigger. I thought that stuff was so neat, and a lot of guys were complaining about how they were going to store it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I like it.
That's what magazine boxes are for.
You got it.
Yeah.
We do carry them in Comics and More.
Next up, we've got Green Lantern New Guardians. Number 34. Now, I did get hit by the flood. Fortunately, not too much, but I did lose my box of unread comics, with few exceptions. There was a small stack that was actually next to my bed that I was currently reading.
Okay.
So New Guardians was in there, so I am caught up on this. There will be several things where over the next couple of weeks will be like, my last couple of copies of this were drenched. But this I am caught up in. This has been some good stuff. The New Guardians, the Templar Guardians, have been abducted by the Scions, which were essentially kind of not literally created by them, I believe, but they using technology of the previous Guardians, and now the Scions kind of want their revenge to some extent because they were experimented on and all of these other terrible things, and so now they're doing scientific experiments on the Guardians. So Kyle Rayner and Star Sapphire, Carol Ferris are showing up to save him. So, but again, this has been some good science fiction stuff. This is really the most sort of traditional sci-fi of the Green Lantern books because it's really them flying around, getting into missions. It's kind of the most Star Trek-ish or Doctor Who-ish. It's not as big, not tied into the big storylines as much as the others. Although this is going to be part of that sort of storyline with the New Gods coming up. But overall, as I've said many times, this is one of, if not my favorite, of the Green Lantern books because they've just been doing some great old-fashioned sci-fi.
Justin Jordan's a talented writer.
Very, very good writer. And I think it has the best artwork of any of the Green Lantern books. Next up, Batman Eternal number 20. I am a month behind on this, which normally would mean one issue.
Right,
now it means four that did survive the flood because they were in that stack too. So I don't know exactly what's going on. But this is the weekly Batman book. It's continuing the story of the more supernatural side of Gotham. I think they finished up the gang war story, and now we're in the supernatural stuff, plus the attempt to redeem James Gordon. So Gordon, I don't know if he escaped from. Well, it looks like he might still be in prison. Batman's working with some of the non-corrupt Gotham cops. Batgirl is off doing her own thing, trying to find evidence to show who actually is behind all the destruction that Gordon was blamed for, and then I'm sure all of this is tying into the magic stuff too. It's Scott Snyder. It's good stuff. Hopefully, I can get caught up and just get all 5 issues in a row.
Spoilers in that too, huh? So they've been
yeah,
Harris Moore,
Stephanie Brown is in here, so she's been throughout all of this, so this is definitely going to be the launch of her, and just a good overview of the Batman. There she is, first time.
Cool.
If you're only going to get one Batman book, this is a good one because everyone's appearing in it. Cool. It's really the entire Batman family, not just Batman.
So you can still have a book every week.
Right.
And be reading one title.
Yes. So cool stuff. Next up, New Avengers number 23. This is one that I am caught up on. In the last issue, Namor destroyed a planet to save ours.
Okay.
And then, and as you can see from the cover here, the New Avengers, the Illuminati, are splintering because the other guys couldn't do it. They all stepped up, and before they pressed the button, they just realized they were all too noble and too good to do it. And then Namor, he's not.
Right, he's like, I'll do it.
He kind of, within a year of his first appearance, he did attempt to kill everyone in the United States.
That's true.
So he's bordered on being a villain many times in the past. But he also saved the planet Earth, and Reed Richards didn't. He was about to let the Earth die. So who's the hero? They're finally kind of playing into that idea. When Bendis introduced the Illuminati, he didn't play too much with the dangers of having, the smartest people, the smartest heroes and people controlling the most powerful people on Earth, all kind of banding together in a small, secretive group with no transparency. He didn't really play with that too much. Jonathan Hickman is pointing out how it's actually a really horrible idea to have a secret ruling group, no matter how altruistic they are, because sooner or later they're going to have to make some hard choices, and once they start making hard choices, it gets easier every time. And I think that's kind of where it's taken 23 issues for this kind of theme to play out, but I think it's finally starting to play out. The problems between the groups, Namor let on a little bit more to some of the horrible things that he did to Wakanda, and Black Panther has basically said he's going to kill him. So one of these days he's going to die. So yeah, this is I think the beginning of the end of the New Avengers as we're coming to the end of Hickman's big storyline and how it all fits together. But it's been just great stuff. I know some people don't like it because they think it's too much talking, and it is a lot of talking. But if you don't mind a bunch of smart superheroes talking about the end of the world, then this is the book for you.
All right. Yeah, it got to be a bit too much for me.
Yeah. A lot of people have said that. And
I loved his Fantastic Four run. The Avengers just didn't work the same way for me.
It's not. It's definitely...
The Fantastic Four was perfect because he played with the smarty pants stuff and the fun stuff.
Yep.
There's less fun stuff going on over there.
He has the disadvantage of there being no children in the Avengers.
Right. It's all smarty pants.
Right.
That's all it is.
This book is basically, it's the smart kids all talking smart, trying to save the world, mostly by talking and building things.
Right.
Although there was a lot of punching in the last couple issues.
Okay.
They beat the crap out of the Justice League before they destroyed their world.
Nice.
Yeah. Those are the good guys.
Right. It was probably just the New 52 anyway. Who cares? So I guess that brings me to the top of my stack here. I'm going to actually go with The Strain, The Night Eternal, issue number 1. This show has been fantastic. I've really, really enjoyed it. This is the third miniseries now that they've had. Now, this is based on the third novel. The first two miniseries were each based on their respective novels. There was The Strain, and there was, The Fall, and then this is The Night Eternal. And I believe they say this is ongoing, at least how it's built. It's billed that way for now. Okay. And they're probably just going to stretch the story out and tell a little longer, because I think the television series is also supposed to be 3 seasons, covering each one of the books. Right. So we're going to see how that all works out, I guess. And Dark Horse is obviously trying to keep that property and milk it for all it's worth, and because they're losing their other big property that starts with ST, at the end of this year. So this has been good stuff. It's Dave Lapham and I believe Mike Huddleston have done all of the comics, based on that Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan novels. I haven't read any of the comics, but I have read the novels. I really enjoy them, and so that's why that's my top pick, because everything else that's going on. I enjoy the show. I've enjoyed the novels, and so that's good stuff.
Cool. My top pick is Multiversity.
Had to be in somebody's stack.
Long awaited. They announced this years and years and years ago. This is by Grant Morrison, Yvonne Reese, Joe Prado, Neil Ruffino. This is Grant Morrison looking at the multiverse. I mean, didn't they first announce this after 52?
Is that it? Did Nei just do the cover, or did she do some of the art inside too?
Who?
Rufino. It's Nei Rufino.
Oh, Nei? I don't know.
She's the one who did our Legends of Oz number 16 exclusive variant cover for Comics and More. So it looks like she's starting to get some much bigger work, which is awesome.
Yeah, I don't see a credits page. Wait, is that it?
Yeah, what did she do?
She just did the coloring.
Okay, it's color. That's still awesome. Good for her.
So
her colors are beautiful.
Yeah, this is gorgeous. I mean, the artwork in general is just gorgeous in this book. This is Grant Morrison exploring the multiverse. So we see on the front cover we've got the Black Superman, who is also the President of the United States from his Action Comics run.
And I'm most excited about that guy in the right corner.
Mary Marvel and Captain Carrot from Captain Carrot and the Zoo Crew. So yeah, this is each issue I think focuses on a different world maybe in the multiverse. I know they've got different artists each time. They've got Grant Morrison and who's the guy here? Frank Quitely looking at Earth 3. Or not, I don't know. Well, it used to be Earth 3. I don't know what it is now. The Charlton Earth. Okay. Which is basically going to be their take on Watchmen.
Okay.
So yeah, different artists. Each book focuses on a different world in the multiverse. There's something kind of weird coming to. They haven't really explained it.
Looks incredible.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of my favorites here. So yeah, we're finally years after DC reintroduces its multiverse, then destroys it, then brings it back again.
Yeah.
We're finally getting a chance to tour it and see some of the worlds that we've been hearing about or been teased here and there. So yeah, this has been years and years in the making. Finally, it's coming out. God knows whether or not it's actually going to come out monthly if it's taking this long.
So is this all Grant Morrison, you think, bringing back Captain Carrot, or do you think DC's like, Marvel's got a talking raccoon? Jerks.
Well, if this really did begin back in 2008, then I think they're just trying to show a little bit of, oh wow, there's Harbinger. So yeah, we're going to get a lot of interesting stuff from basically what the new multiverse is like. Because yeah, this is Captain Carrot, but he looks a little bit tougher and more badass than the one I remember, which is the way all heroes are nowadays.
Right.
So yeah, this I've been waiting for this for years. Hopefully, it'll come out in some semblance of a regular schedule because I'm really curious as to what Grant Morrison's going to do with this. This is really his last superhero work for a while. I think he said after this, he's focusing mostly on creator-owned stuff for a while. Not because he's mad at DC or anything, but he's had, it's been, God, how many years has he been doing superhero stuff at DC? And he just wants to do some stuff that he owns, make some movies and get some movie money, I'm sure. He's got...
Where everyone else is doing it.
Right, exactly. If Mark Miller can do it.
You're right.
And Mark Miller's third movie is coming out. Grant Morrison can get a movie out there too. So yeah, Multiversity, my top pick.
Yeah, it looks like so not a huge week, but a pretty good week of some solid stuff.
Indeed.
So be sure to check those out. And that has been your Week in Geek.